Good day and good afternoon, whichever part of the world you could be joining us from. I am joining you again, Miss Kim, from the sunny Botswana, right next to South Africa, in Africa. And it's another super awesome afternoon when we get to bring back to you all the good news about e-learning and what we have to offer. And literacy, which is quite an issue, is what we're addressing beginning of this year. So constantly we get to realize and appreciate that English is an international language. And of course, we are embracing our children learning so many other international languages. But knowing where the gaps are within English, then it's important that we ensure we have support systems right from teachers to our children. So we run this podcast every Saturday, 4 p.m. Botswana time, and we would love to have you, whoever is on board, please get on the message section and tell us where you're joining us from. If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and which part of the world are you coming from? Are you an educator? And would you like to have some of our videos? To our keen listeners and followers, we always give once a month some free content. You get some free ebooks that you can also share within your community. So I can see I'm joined by Douglas, our author, and our big donor who has been supporting this program. From as Douglas donates his time, he donates blood and sweat, literally. He donates money, his books that he spent years writing, and his time to help make sure that we take them to children, especially in marginalized communities. So Douglas will be taking us through this podcast supported by Sebastian, who is a very well accomplished educator and a big name in the space of English within the continent of Africa. So I'm just going to give the mic to them and they will introduce themselves. Over to you, Doug and Sebastian.
Mr. Sebastian, do you want to go first, please?
And I can see we have Godlove. Hi, Godlove. How are you?
I'm so fine. Hi, everyone.
We're good, thanks. So we're doing introductions and you can introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Godlove Shami, an English teacher teaching public school in Tanzania, in Mwanza, Tanzania. I'm so happy and so excited to be part of this platform. Thank you.
You're welcome. We had Sebastian, but maybe his network or something, you can check on him. I see like he's back. I'm not sure if he's ready to do his intro. Hello, Sebastian.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see you.
My pleasure. I'm sorry, the internet took me out, and
Okay.
I'm excited to have Douglas, Mr. Godlove, Miss Kim on board. My name is Mahamba Sebastian. Well, I've been teaching in public schools in Mwanza, Tanzania. I'm also a leader supporting the English program in Africa as the vice president from Africa ELTA. Well, I've been doing a lot of programs for teachers through the television and the other program through, community where we gather students and teachers supporting English programs. I'm excited to be here on board for the podcast program. Thank you, and back to you, Ms. Kim.
Thank you, Sebastian. We're very happy to have you. With all your accomplishments, we feel Africa is safe to have you that are doing amazing work.
I see, I see.
Yeah. So, Douglas, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much. I think most of you know me. I'm Doug Alford. I will be switching off the video just to be saving the bandwidth. But so excited to have you today as we talk about two books close to my heart. There are new words, and so we talk about how words can have same and similar meaning and learn the English. Turtle jumps. Sorry to share a bit of a personal experience, but I have a family member who has learning disabilities. And as he was in kindergarten, early in school, he was struggling. And it was like there was a story being told that we told my kids then about a turtle trying to get a turtle to learn how to jump. And it would give him hope in school. So this was decades ago. And then that's how I wrote the book, Turtle Jumps. So we'll get started. We'll go right into it. And then please stop, interrupt. We want to hear from you. And I know when it comes to reading the books and watching the videos, there'll be others involved, but we want to encourage the participants to participate, please. So next page, please. Let's cover just kind of what we're talking about here in the next hour. And so this is the Zenglish, and it's Zen is to be easy, to be peace with, and each program, it's a 10-part program. Last week we covered 0 and 1. This week we'll cover 2 and 3. And so let's just press right on, please. Let's get to it. Just like last time, this is the Zenglish program. You covered that perfect. So we're going to go through the goals, the main points, talk about some similarities and what's simple. We hit just rapid fire, the keywords, the concepts, and the key sentences. You can get a copy of this from Miss Sally, right? And so the goal of the podcast, so we'll go into videos and rule breakers. We'll read the story quickly. We'll spend about half the time on book number 2, and then we'll go to book number 3. We're talking about new words and turtle jumps. We do appreciate your feedback on how we can improve this. We want teachers to be able to present this to early learners. We want people that are English as a second language. Goes by lots of acronyms.
New words, same meaning. Video.
Miss Sally, do you want to do the video now, or do you want me to proceed, please? Either way is fine. I'll keep talking. So the main points are, as we learn English and as we have new learners to English, they have to learn new words. And so we start with a simple story about a bird that a storm blows away. It goes down to talk to the farm animals, and the animals don't use the same words. And of course, it's a simple story that teaches us all that every language has its new words that we have to learn. And even though they're new words with different sounds, they mean the same things as the language we're familiar with. The focus here, the theme of this presentation is to learn words. We want to benefit that we need to learn words first, like building blocks, to build sentences, to build understandings. So it's a simple story. The main point, it's a lost bird. A storm blows it away, goes down and sees farm animals that look the same, like cows and ducks and frogs, but the bird cannot understand these new animals. The bird has to then work with the animals to learn new words. It eventually gets to fly home. It's a comparison, a very simple story that helps us learn English. If no questions, we'll just press on here, please. As we've done in the other places, we love one-page summaries. And this one just says, we're going to talk about similar words, words that have similar meanings, about the same as other words, and how that's applicable to learning English. We're going to talk about how words build in blocks, like building blocks into sentences, and the sentences and paragraphs tell stories. And so we're building, remember last week we talked about the sounds and the letters. Now we talk about words, sentences, and stories. So we don't go through every word, but those of you who have a copy of this, do recommend that you go through the words, make sure you're familiar with them, and then help with the letters so they have the vocabulary list, the words that are needed for this story. There's 2 ways to read this story, and that's the first one are just very short words and short sentences that convey the main meaning, and then you read it the second time with longer sentences which add more words once you already know the simple basis. So there's no questions on the key words. Let's press on, please. Like we did last time, there's some concepts that we want to cover, right? Nouns and subjects. the person, places, and things, verbs, the doing words, the action words, adjectives or what describe the nouns. And so they're what makes the word fun. Last week was red robin, remember? So once we learn the pieces of English and the way they're put together, we can review or recap that nouns are person, places, and things. Action words are the doing, the flying, the look, right? The jumping, those are all action words. And to make life so interesting, we describe. English uses describe words: green bird, yellow sun, friendly frog, confused cow, for example. So look for these type of the parts of speech as we go through the English book. Next page, please. Perfect. So we talk about the 4 different types of sentences. And so those who are interested, make sure you look at the 4 different types. Sentences describe things, tell things what to do, show emotion, or ask questions. And so as we go through the book, you can keep in mind the different types of sentences and help us understand them. So that's key sentences. Ms. Sally, do you want to show the video now, or do you want to do the reading first, please?
I think we can show the video and then we do the reading, right?
Okay.
Green bird flies in the clear blue sky. Bird sees her home country. Suddenly,
Welcome to New Words, Same Meaning video book.
green bird flies in the clear blue sky. Bird sees her home country. Suddenly, a big storm blows Bird far, far away. Bird is not hurt. She sees that everything looks different. Bird flies down to ask directions. Bird asks a cow, "Moo, moo, moo." That means, which way is my home?
Ma, ma, ma.
Said the new country cow. Bird said, "I can understand you. Cows here don't speak the same words as cows where I come from." Next, Bird sees a yellow duck. "Quack, quack, quack," said Bird to the new duck.
Gap, gap, gap.
Said the happy but confused duck. Bird said, "I can understand you. This is not how ducks in my country talk." Bird sees a smiling frog. Bird flies fast to meet the new frog. "Croak, croak, croak," said the bird to the new frog.
Op, op, op.
Said the friendly but confused frog. Bird asked, "Why do the new animals use different words than where I come from?" Bird learns that other countries use different words, which have the same meaning. The animals work together to learn each other's words. Bird learns to talk with her new friends. The new animals teach Bird the way to fly home. Bird flies home. She thinks about what she learned. Different languages teach us new ways to understand more about others and ourselves. May we learn each other's words, see where we are the same, understand our differences.
Ms. Sally, thank you so much for showing that video. Compliments to Mr. Ramon and his family in the Philippines that compiled the video. So when we show it to the classes and to the learners, we encourage them to focus on the main points. They may not understand every word, but to go ahead and understand the overall, so that when we read it, then we can focus more on the words. Are there any comments before we proceed on? All right, next page, please. Just like last week, we take a moment and pause and learn an English rule, those things that help us with pronunciations. But then we also saw breakers. Those are exceptions to the rules. So last time we talked about say name vowels, vowels that say their names. A, ape, E, eat, I, kite, O, go, you, blue. Later we'll learn about, of course, there are the same vowels written to make different sounds. But a lot of new learners to English get confused by the E at the end of a word. But when you know the rule that the E at the end of the word, the vowel says its name, like make, name, five, hope, and blue. But like English, we point out, English has lots of exceptions, features, breakers to the rule. Like the word come, have, and one don't follow that rule. Do we have a volunteer that would like to read some of the book? If you don't want to read it, that's fine. We do want to finish this discussion on new words in about 10 minutes, but either Mr. Sebastian or Mr. Godlove, do you want to read? Or Ms. Sally, who would like to read, please?
Sebastian, are you there? Oh, Godlove.
Mr. Sebastian's having some network issues, I believe. He's dropped off again.
Okay.
Now he's back.
Okay, maybe I'll just read. Godlove, are you able to read, or Sebastian? I might just go ahead.
As a data point, starting on page 14, right, are the book. So just a heads up, please.
Okay, I think Sebastian is back. Okay, Sebastian, over to you.
I'm back. Page 14, or I'm now seeing page 12.
One more, please. Let's go to page 14. Easier to read. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll try to read. Well, the first one is just new words, understand others. So the second photo here writes, with the book, we learn new words, we understand others. Number 3 is birds flies in the sky. Number 4, bird sees home. Number 5, storm blows bird. Number 6, bird see new place. Number 7, bird is lost. Number 8, bird asks a cow, moo, 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 where is my home? Interesting. Back to you, Miss Sally.
I'll leave it open to the team. Do you want to continue reading the book, or would you like to open it up for group discussion? What would you like to do, please?
Let me continue to the other part of reading.
Okay.
Okay. Number 9. Cow said, "Moo, moo, moo." Number 10. Bird cannot understand. Number 11. Bird asks a duck, "Quack, quack, quack." Number 12. Duck said, "Gab, gab, gab." Number 13. Bird cannot understand. Number 14. Bird sees a frog. Number 15, bird asks, croak, croak, croak. Number 16, frog said, op, op, op. Thank you so much. Over to you, Douglas.
Miss Sally, do you want to go to page 16? Mr. Sebastian, you okay to read this one too?
Number 16 now reads number 16, part of reading.
Yes, please read.
Okay. Number 16. Bird asks why. We do not understand each other. Number 18, part of the reading. Birds learns a lesson. New places use other words. Another part is bird learns new words. Number 20, there are new friends now. 21, birds learn way home. 22, birds flies home. New places use other words. They mean the same. Number 23, new words teach us new ways to understand each other. Number 24, at first, bird cannot talk with others. Birds learns new words. We learn to understand new friends too. Thank you.
Mr. Sebastian, thank you so much for reading that. We can open it up for any discussions, or I'll make a couple of comments why we're doing that. So it helps the learners with the main points when they see these words. In the ebook from Miss Sally, you can see that there's a whole nother, or you can go back to the one-page summary back on page 13. You can read the same story with sentences that are longer, right? And we won't take the time in this discussion because we need to finish this part in about 5 minutes. I want to open up for any questions. But the point on page 13, please, is that you can go back through, students read the same story with longer sentences that add more description, more descriptive words that give more depth to the story. But students focus on the main points. They learn that words have meanings. A couple other fun things we've done in the school presentations. One teacher was really into drama and into plays, and she had made costumes for the children to wear, right, when they're acting out the story. So that was really hands-on, a lot of action. They had fun with that. Other countries have taken the book. This was based on Thailand, right? And the sounds that the animals make versus English versus Thailand. But other countries can say the animals say different words. And it's an opportunity for the locals around the world to say what the animal sounds say in their language, right? It's an opportunity to do that as well. So any discussions, any questions before we just on some of the key points and what we've learned in this presentation? Miss Sally, anything from participants?
Well, I think I could only do an addition of when we train children, when we teach kids and use sounds and videos, the visual, the impact is different. I love the combination of reading and in between the child watches the video. It is also nice when the reading is done in group work, where you have this child reads this paragraph and another one reads. I think they pay more attention into understanding. And then maybe in between having some questions makes it more interactive.
Excellent comment, Ms. Sally. Yes, thank you.
I would like also to add a little bit, Mr. Douglas, if you allow me.
Please.
Well, thank you for bringing this, topic on board. And I love the fact that, as Miss Sally alluded on the part of using the storms to teach learners, when they see, they, kids tend to store a lot of memory. Like there's a longer retention of the memory when they see the pictures and video displaying to them when they learn. But again, I love when I was reading new words, like when I was reading the word mau, the cow sounds mau, but here in Tanzania we have the sound mo. So that's a new words that our kids can really get to learn. I love the facts also that you deployed the comics, like the stories in the comics, where there's sometimes like asking and also getting the responses, and the story goes on. This is really interesting to connect the sentences and the structure, and from a simple word to a complex grammar or a complex sentence when a kid is really learning. So I love what you are bringing on board. Thank you.
Excellent comments. Thank you, Mr. Sebastian. Mr. Godlove, any comments, please?
Thank you to be back on board, and I was really following, seeing how this infographics is infographics that is powerful in learning and practice, and then coming to video. It helps the first learner or the second language learner to comprehend and connect with the cognitive ability of understanding the language. So this is very helpful, and taken in our context, this really work best when we teach students by repeating, reading from one speaker, one reader to the other. It really connects and it creates the sense of understanding the language. Thank you.
Excellent comments, Mr. Godlove. Thank you so much. So we're going to cover just a couple of pages very quickly. Please remember that you can get copies of the ebooks and the videos from Ms. Sally, okay? So you can go back, because I know this is quick. But the main points of this lesson were, we were talking about words that are similar, right? English has a wonderful vocabulary, but for new learners, it can be confusing when you use big and huge, right? Small and little, happy, glad, talk, speak. So we use many words. But it adds a depth and a richness to the language, right? And there's some activities that you can do, back to Ms. Sally's point, as a group, right? Some of the fun things you can do, have people go around in a group and change out words and use a different word. Next page, please. So just like words have the same similar meanings, words can have opposite meanings and antonyms, right? So happy, sad, right? Fast, slow. And so students have an opportunity to pause in this lesson and look at the meanings that are different in addition to the meanings that are the same. Next page, please. And just like we did for the same words, we do that. Okay, there's the group chat, right? We got some questions for the story. You got the answers there. On your own time, you can go back and look at the stories. It just helps. If you notice, the first time when we read the story, we called it Bird. And then the second time, we gave the bird the name Noak, right? And it's just an opportunity for the students to learn more details. So are there any questions on new words before we jump right into turtle jumps? Ms. Sally, let's open it up for a minute, please.
Anybody with a question?
Okay, let's go to page 23, please. Is there a comment, please?
Yeah, there is a delay of the slides sometimes, which when Miss Sally say, can we read? But now it's fine. Go ahead, Douglas.
Thank you. It's amazing that we have people on from at least 3 continents, right? So that's pretty amazing that we're able to do this. Great technology. Just I'll refer everybody back to the science ones where we talked about networks and smartphones and computers. So it'd be good to review those. Amazing technology. Now for the second half of our podcast, we're going to talk about the book Turtle Jumps. And people say turtles can't jump, and they say, well, that's the story we're talking about, right? We're going to talk about the goals, the main points. The simply said is we talk signs, the letters, syllables, and stress. Key points, concepts, right? We'll get into sentences and do just like we did last time. Read the story, do the videos, talk about rules, group chat, and the skills. So if there's no other questions, let's press right on, please. A lot of the younger students have a fun time when you imagine a turtle jumping, right? And so it's a great learning opportunity as we learn English, and as new students are learning English. It's hard. It's a hard thing, but it's worthwhile. We help them know why it's worthwhile. But as a turtle learns to jump, we learn English with this story. So we love story. I love stories. I hope you love stories. They help us practice our English in fun ways, but there's an awful lot of learning going on, from sounds and letters to words to sentences, to put together the whole meaning of the story. Just like last time, we're going to talk about TJ, which is the name of the turtle that jumps, and his friends keep trying and trying until they succeed at jumping. So first of all, the turtle wants to jump. He tries, he fails, he keeps trying with his friend's help, and he succeeds. And how that is a perfect example of how we learn English. We focus on practicing, we focus on success. We don't let the frustrations get to us. We're together as groups and friends and learning English. So if there's no questions, we'll press on, please. 3 main points to keep in mind as we go through this lesson. We talked about the signs in last week's lesson, the letters. Now we're going to talk about signs in punctuation, the period mark, right? The comma, the pause, the exclamation mark. When you get excited, we'll talk about punctuation, how there's some new symbols that we have to learn that help us express how we're feeling and how we're reading. We talk about syllables. Syllables are how words are made up of partial sounds. Groups of letters make one word. That says world. It should be word. Sorry about that. And we learn how in English, when words have multiple syllables, multiple parts, often one syllable is said slightly louder, and it's called stress. And it's just speak fluently. It's good to know that words have stresses. So we did talk about the different words, remember, in the previous lesson about green turtle jumps in the sunny blue sky. And we'll leave it to the learners to go back and to talk about the different parts of the sentence, right? What's a noun? What's an action? What's the doing words? What's the describe words? Next page, please. Just like last time, we want to make sure that learners know the words that they're going to learn. So determination is a big word for the more advanced, but it's easy for everyone to talk about the words play and try and turtle, right? And then for the more advanced, you can see the longer list there of the words in the book that I want to make sure the teachers and the students are ready for in the story. Like last time, we do cover concepts. We talked about punctuations. You can review on page 27. Sorry for the lag there. Just be patient with us, please. We'll catch up. But we do a you can review everything from exclamation marks to question marks, right, that help make the story more exciting. Last story, we talked about the describe words that describe nouns. Now we have, just like nouns have words like green, turtle, we have words that describe the nouns that give it more excitement, like quickly jump, cheerfully speak, right? Clearly speak English. These all describe the verbs. Those who like the description, it's called an adverb, but it just describes words for verbs. Let's go on to page 28, please. Remember the 3 points we're talking about: the signs with the punctuation, the syllables, the word parts, and the stress. How often in English the first syllable, the first word sound is the one you stress: country, animal, language. But there are words like together, which is a 3-syllable word, and it's the second syllable that's said slightly louder, okay? So if there's no questions, we'll go on to key sentences, please. On page 29, those of you, and especially with the more advanced students, keep in mind the 4 different types of sentences that we talked. Look for them throughout the story as we watch the video and we read the story of turtle jumps. And with that, Ms. Sally, we can jump right into either reading the story or doing the video, whichever you would like. Which do you want to do, please?
I think we can read.
Okay, Mr. Sebastian read last time. Are we going to ask him to do it again, or do we have another volunteer, please?
Mr. Sebastian, are you there?
Yeah, can I try? I can't see clearly, but let me try. Are we on page 31?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, here we go. Number 1, we each jump in 2 ways, like 2 ways. That is not clear scene. Number 2, my name is TJ. Number 3, often I am glad. Number 4, sometimes I am sad. Number 5, mom and dad say, be happy with yourself. Number 7, sometimes I feel alone. Number 6, at school I am often last. The last one, number 8, outside I am lost to play. I am lost to play. That is on page 31, pass of reading. Thank you.
Mr. Sebastian, you okay to continue? Would you like someone to share the joy with you? Let us know if you want us to do others, but we can press on to page 32, please.
Okay, here we go. Let me go to page number 32 and I'll be reading. Well, it's number 9. Inside, everyone is to jump. Inside, everyone is to jump. Number 10, I try, I cannot jump. Number 11, others laugh at me. Number 12, I ask dad, can I jump? Number 13, dad said, turtles cannot jump alone. Think of other ways. Number 14, mom talks with me too. I learn to try. Number 15, I think about it. I get an idea. Number 16, we build TJ. Taro Jumper 1. Thank you.
Ms. Sally, can we finish the page 33 and then 34 to finish the story?
Okay.
Sebastian, over to you.
Okay. Here we go. We try it. Sadly, it breaks. Number 18. We met the STJ to
of turtle jumps.
I lost. Okay. All right. Thank you. Here we go. We make the STJ2 Super Taro Jumper 2. Well, another one is number 19. We try it. Wow, it works. Number 20, I am the first turtle to jump. We jump and jump. Number 21, mom and dad say, good job. 22, next, I want to jump in space. Number 23, first, I will do my homework. Number 24, TJ wants jump. This story teaches us to try until we succeed.
Excellent, Mr. Sebastian. Thank you so much. So there's a lot of new words, a lot of new vocabulary, and some teachers at first were a little concerned that we talk about where the turtle is sad and then happy, and the struggles of failing and the struggles of them succeeding. But majority of the teachers that we work with appreciate how students learn that we don't always get things easy. We don't always succeed on the first time. Some days we're not happy, right? And so we cover a lot of emotions in this book, but it all helps the learners, new English learners learn, right? And a lot of new vocabulary. Any questions or comments? If there's no questions or comments, so we can go straight to the video, Miss Sally.
To new words, same meaning. Video book.
Hi, my name is TJ. I am a turtle. Sometimes I am happy, sometimes sad. Mom and Dad say I should be glad that I am a turtle. At school, I am often last. At recess, I am the last one picked to play. In gym, everyone gets to jump. I try, but I can't. I asked Dad, why can't I jump? Dad said, well, turtles can't jump. Mom said, but you do have many talents. Go find them. I think and think about jumping. I get a good idea. My friends and I build TJ1. Turtle Jumper 1. We try it. Sadly, it fails. We redo it. We make the STJ2, the Super Turtle Jumper 2. We try again. It works! I am the first turtle to ever jump. I think I will be the first turtle to jump in outer space. First, I have to finish my homework.
Thank you for playing the video, Miss Sally. Are there any comments or questions from the team before we go through some of the rules and things we've learned in this?
Thank you so much. First of all, I have liked from the infograph and from the video the sounds forming the words and the way the learner of a second language can read. It forms kind of like a music or a rhymes which are like singing during reading, and it was really interesting. For example, the word like glad, sad, dad, mom said. So glad and sad, dad and mom said, forming kind of like a really good rhythmic sounds that attract a learner and this is really simple for young kid or for the first learner of the second language. Thank you.
Very good comment. Thank you. Miss Sally or Mr. Sebastian, any comments before we press on to the rules?
Well, I also like to add a little bit. Um, well, when I was really following this conversation, there's a sort of cohesion and coherence that a learner connects from a sound to a word to a sentence. I mean, to a phrase to a sentence. Um, well, and we teachers who teach young learners, sometimes, like here in Tanzania, we don't need to consider grammar of a learner, but we consider what a kid or a learner really produce. When she grows up, then she'll be mastering other like structure or grammar. But looking at these simple words, these are the inputs that we want learner to put to their brain, to their mind, as they gather a lot of information to learn. So I love the cohesion and coherence that the SCOM is really displaying, and what you are bringing to youngsters in a classroom situation. It's really interesting, and I love seeing what's part of a lesson. Thank you so much.
Excellent comments. Thank you. Miss Sally, any other comments before us on?
I'll check and I'll update because I can see we have some comments on LinkedIn that I've not been able to check out, except I have a few from Facebook. Let me read out one, which is actually a question. What strategies can you use to teach a new language who have not yet, okay, maybe the person meant to say for somebody who has not yet mastered the first language. That's from Kasara Gaboka.
As far as strategy, I can be a challenge when they haven't mastered their first language, but I think learning the simple sounds and letters and words of English, and then how those words come together, help with whatever their first language is. We've got a lot of positive comments that learning English as a second language has helped the learners focus more on their language, on both the similarities and the differences. I'll open it up. Anybody else have any comments on that question, please?
I think what I would add on Mr. Kasara's question is, which I stand to be advised, especially by the linguistic people in the room. Kids have the capability to learn and master 5 to 7 languages at the same time. So I do not think it would interfere with that, but I know there must be a strong reason why currently we are emphasizing on kids being able to first speak their mother tongue. Then it becomes much easier for them to master any other language. So as for strategies, I would say there are so many strategies we can use to get kids to learn these other languages. Personally, I feel like my mother had the best method, where since my mom was a teacher, we had posters and on the walls everywhere. So I learned my alphabet, I think, before I could spell my name. I learned the mathematical tables before I knew what that meant, because it was like right there on your face. So it's something that I still encourage educators, that visual learning, ensuring that kids can access resources. We had a bookshelf in every one of our bedsides, not like literally in the bedroom, it's on your bedside. The first thing before you go to bed, there's a book. The first thing when you wake up, there's a book. And those habits that we put when kids are young, they grow with them. I'm a books addict. I'm not in the books business by chance. It's just who I am. And my house, my kids have raised them with books. We don't have a TV set in our lounge. We have bookshelves. So cultivating those habits could really help. Please allow me, I know we don't have much time, but let me read another question from Zeno Benjamin, who says, oh, okay, this is an addition, it's a comment. He says, I'd like to add this on synonyms words. Those similar words that synonyms are used according to the given context. For example, in this sentence, the cat has a big head, instead of saying, that cat has a large head. Am I right? Zeno asks. Educators, please advise Zeno.
Would anybody else like to answer?
Sebastian, are you there?
Yeah, that's a very interesting part of the question. Um, well, I don't think there's a correlation, like does the word does not collocate with large head, but we say a big head. So there's a near synonyms and and far synonyms. So with the word big and large, it depends on the context that you are talking to. So if you are trying to refer to a dog with a big head, that is really collocative. It's really it's collocated with the word big. But if you say a dog with a large, that is a little bit, it's a synonym, but it's a little bit far. So it does not really collocate to the word large head. Rather, we say big head. That is what I know. Maybe someone else can add to that differences. But again, coming to what the other speaker, I think, asked about a little bit about learning a language. I mean, learning a language first, how the strategy you use to support learners in the first language. I don't get it clear, but what I mean is there's a two-way that we learn a language. We learn by, we call it unconsciously. This is when a kid acquire a language automatically in their locality, in the compound. Like you mentioned, Miss Sally, when we are home, a mother teaches from the sound from cooing sound, from babbling sound to one word, two words, phrases. Then there's a space, the other space when you learn a language in a school or in a formal setting where a language is being taught. So strategies in a classroom is when now you get a formal setting where you be taught to speak, to write, whatever things related to training. But automatically with the mother is when those sounds are, you know, subtly supportive, how you interact, and then it automatically, you know, grows into a language. So basically we have acquisition and a language by learning. Thank you so much.
Excellent comments. I would just add, as the learner learns more about English and they will understand the word same and how that's different than the word similar, right? Same being it's exactly the same, you could drop it in, and similar means when you change it to a synonym, it can change the meaning slightly. It comes with practice and experience. So I'd like to just cover a couple of rules, a couple pages, and then we'll open it up for group discussion, and that will be the end of this podcast. But like in 2, we talked about vowels are the same. Now we talk about vowels make different sounds. We'll leave it to the readers to go practice. Just like Ms. Sally had pointed out, also in Turtle Jumps, we have questions and answers that can help to get a group to chat about the stories, what they like, what they don't like, how they could change the story, what would make it interesting to them. And it's just positive to have that group discussion to use English in the words. It's so easy for learners to realize when they're talking to others that they're learning English, but they almost do it unconsciously, or it makes it a lot easier. So next page, please. So last time we kind of skipped over some of the skills, but we also want to, while we're doing turtle jumps, to focus on describe nouns and describe verbs, right? So we talked about green turtle or sunny blue sky, colorful clouds, blue sky again, but quickly flies, how the word quickly describes flies, the verb, the doing word, quickly dance, right? So any questions or comments so far? Miss Sally, do we have any other questions? We've got about 5 minutes left.
I just have beautiful comments. This Grace says this is super awesome. Joining from US. Zeno says great story from Tato Jams. We should work hard and smart to overcome our problem of learning new English words every day. Alan says very interesting. And Zeno says thanks for your clarification on my previous question on synonyms, big versus large. Thank you so much, Zeno, and thank you everybody listening from whichever part of the world or platform. We can proceed. Thank you.
In addition to turtle jumps, we want to make sure that those learners that need easier stories, right? We draw attention to that there's a book called Wing Ways that we talked about on airplanes, and who are more advanced that we have materials they can get into that practice more advanced words once they've learned the easy words in this discussion, right? So let's open it up to Mr. Sebastian. Any final words for this podcast, please?
I beg your pardon, please.
Anything you'd like to say before we end this podcast, please, Mr. Sebastian?
What I would like to say is, well, thank you so much for super presentation. And I would like to encourage teachers who are really watching from different part of the world, especially those who are teaching English, that teaching English is a complex, system. We need to start from simple to complex. And our kids are very curious to learn different languages. Like Miss Sally mentioned, they have ability to learn 7 to 8 languages. So if we get them acquainted to teaching, get them acquainted to the language, I think they'll be better. And one professor said, if you speak more than 3 languages, your brain or your mind is smarter. So we need to get our kids really get rich in many languages as they can. By having languages, they can communicate with a wider community. They can do best in their academics and sort of that. So thank you for bringing this on board. And I love to see those teachers in elementary level, primary level, even secondary school, or ESL, English second language learners, or English as a foreign language, are really getting in touch to this kind of podcast to get themselves, with many resources that they can teach their kids back to their school. Thank you so much.
Excellent comments. Thank you. Mr. Godlove.
Yeah, thank you so much, Douglas, for a nice presentation, and all colleagues and teachers in this platform. My comment is just one to teachers. I have been participating in different platform webinar, but this one is very exceptional, and it provides the best way of learning second language to both young learners and the speakers of second language. So I would like to encourage my fellow teachers and educators across the world not missing any of the podcast and keeping up with this and new platform in this 21st century of technology and so many things, and including language is measuring and making our life better. So here we are learning a lot, and we hope to share a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind comments. We really appreciate all the participants, everyone that joined us in this discussion. Imagine a world where we all know the same words and we can use it to communicate. What a wonderful place. Thank you so much for this. Please join us next week. Ms. Sally, over to you. Ms. Sally, you're still on mute.
Thank you. And I'm going on and on. A big, hearty thank you to all of you, Sebastian, Godlove, Douglas. A big one to our listeners, Grace Jackson, I see you, Zeno Benjamin, Alan Anthony, and we have quite a number of them as well from LinkedIn. I can see we have Divina Nyangarisa, and I suspect Divina Nyagarisa did translation of some of Kiswahili books for Zen, right, Doug? I think
Right.
so. Yes, which we're waiting for some review to be done on those books. Then we have Dr. Ras, who has been a big supporter of our STEAM education projects in Africa. And he says a big shout out from Atlanta, Georgia. We have Dixon Samson from Arusha, Tanzania. Thank you. Who says he's very happy to join us. We have Maria Mulenga, a teacher from Zambia, a primary school teacher. Thank you, everyone. Please join us, tell others, just echoing to the words of Sebastian. Please reach out to us for some free resources that you can send back to the children who are. We know the situation of us in Africa. Sometimes we don't want to keep talking about it, right? Doesn't feel nice. But the reality is we have a lot of kids who have no access to resources. So this is a golden opportunity, and where you can, please invite kids. If you're working in a boarding school and children are free on a Saturday and they can join us, please invite them. And if you're not, please share this podcast to kids. You can get it on YouTube. It's still, and we can share with you the raw video that you can share with children from whichever part of the world you are. And of course, let's start even with the children in our homes, our own children. Sometimes bring them along to the podcast. Let's hear their voices. Let's have them read some of these books that we are reading. Cool. Thank you, and see you next Saturday, same time, same place. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. Asante sana.
Thank you. Goodbye. Doug, you need to say Asante sana, so we let you go.
Asante sana. You have to teach me how to say that. I'll keep working on it, okay?
It's thank you. All right. Cheers, good people. Goodbye.
Bye.